Now that we've added users, we can move on to the custom image creation process. We do that by going to Cloud Manager and Images. This is where all the images that we create over time will be visible. So we click on Create and we choose what operating system we want to build on. We can use one of the Linux variants, or we could use the Windows Server images. Now, since we built this deployment on Windows Server 2019, we can use Server 2019, 2016, or 2012 R2 as session host images. For this example, I'm going to use Server 2016 and have it go ahead and join the domain. So here I can add a description and what I'm going to install if I choose. The boot disk size needs to be a minimum of 50 gig. Now remember, we don't want to put any user data on these VMs, so we can keep this VM small. The user data gets attached when the user logs in and then gets stored when the user logs out. That way, these VMs become very generic and we can swap them out as needed. Click on Create, and this will start the creation process. And so now it shows that this image is pending creation. So we'll have pending creation, and then once the VM is created, then this will change to pending configuration. That's when we can go in and make changes. So I'll come back to you once this status changes. So now we're back, and the status has changed to pending configuration. This is where we can now connect to the VM and install our applications our end users will need. Okay, so now we're logged back into the session host, and this is where we can install software. The first thing I want to point out to you is we have an article called Image Preparation in CAS. Just Google for that, and it will tell you what you need to do to configure this session host. Like first, disabling IE Enhanced Security, and then next, adding the remote desktop services role of session host. Then it'll remind you to install any Windows updates. Windows installation mode really isn't necessary anymore unless maybe you're dealing with Server 2012 R2. And then you install your applications. And this is where we'll go ahead and install Google Chrome. So now I've installed both Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge on the new session host image. Once I'm done installing my software, which now I am, we can sign out of this VM. Leave it running. Our automation will take care of it from here. Go ahead and sign out. And then we're back at this page. Close this page. Now what we need to do is go over to tasks. When we created the image, Itopia created a task for us to configure this image, which we've just finished. So now all we have to do is click complete, and then the Itopia automation will now convert this VM to an image we can use to create other session host images from. So this is still pending creation, but here in just a few minutes, the Itopia automation will convert this to an image, and when we come back, this will be green, and it will show that it's active and ready to deploy. And now we're back, and this image shows as active. This means that it's been fully provisioned, and it's now considered an image that we can use to provision additional session hosts from. That's all I have this time. In our next video, I'll show you how to use this image we just created and go into additional details on the collection pools and how they can be configured to reduce costs while providing the availability your users require.